Hi kids, it's Grandma Terry here, or Dama, depending on which kids you are. Today I'm going to read Yertle the Turtle, and this is by Dr. Seuss, and this is a copy of the same book I had when I was a little girl, so that was over 50 years ago. Yertle the Turtle. And this is what this page looks like. On the faraway island of Salamasand, Yertle the Turtle was king of the pond. A nice little pond. It was clean, it was neat. The water was warm. There was plenty to eat. The turtles had everything turtles might need, and they were all happy. Quite happy indeed. They were until Yertle, the king of them all, decided the kingdom he ruled was too small. I'm ruler, said Yertle, of all that I see, but I don't see enough. That's the trouble with me. With this stone for a throne, I look down on my pond, but I cannot look down on the places beyond. This throne that I sit on is too low down. It ought to be higher, he said with a frown. If I could sit high, how much greater I'd be. What a king! I'd be ruler of all I could see. See, he's sitting on a rock, and he's getting tired of that. He wants more power. And here's what this page looks like. So Yertle, the Turtle King, lifted his hand, and Yertle, the Turtle King, gave a command. He ordered 9 turtles to swim to his stone, and using these turtles, he built a new throne. He made each turtle stand on another one's back, and he piled them all up in a 9-turtle stack. And then Yertle climbed up. He sat down on the pile. What a wonderful view! He could see most a mile. How would you like to be the turtle on the bottom? He doesn't look very happy, does he? He's suffering. It's hard to be like that and on the bottom with all that weight on top of him. But Yertle doesn't seem like he cares about how that guy feels. So now I'll show you this page and then I'll read it. All mine, Yertle cried. Oh, the things I now rule. Do you know what rule means? It means control, like a king who can just say, do this or do that. The people have to do it. That's called ruling. I'm king of a cow and I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house. And what's more beyond that, I'm king of a blueberry bush and a cat. I'm Yertle the Turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see. But wait, what does marvelous mean? That means like really great, right? But is that great to put yourself in a spot where other people are hurting so that you can have your way? I don't think so. I don't think that's good. And here's the next picture. And all through that morning, he sat there up high, saying over and over, a great king am I, until long about noon. Then he heard a faint sigh. Do you know what a sigh is? It's like this. What's that? Snapped the king, and he looked down the stack, and he saw at the bottom a turtle named Mac. So that guy at the bottom, his name is Mac. Just a part of his throne. And this plain little turtle looked up and he said, beg your pardon, King Yertle. I've pains in my back and my shoulders and knees. How long must we stand here, your majesty, please? Oh, Yertle is not very nice. He doesn't care about how other people feel. Oh, that's not good. Silence, the king of the turtles barked back. I'm king, and you're only a turtle named Mac. You stay in your place while I sit here and rule. I'm king of a cow, and I'm king of a mule. I'm king of a house and a bush and a cat. But that isn't all. I'll do better than that. My throne shall be higher, his royal voice thundered. So pile up more turtles. I want about 200. If he adds more turtles to his stack, so they're hurting, they're tired, is that better? He says he'll do better than that, but is that better? So here's what's happening. Turtles, more turtles, he bellowed and brayed, and the turtles way down in the pond were afraid, and they trembled, they shook, but they came, they obeyed, they did what they were told. From all over the pond they came swimming by dozens, whole families of turtles with uncles and cousins, and all of them stepped on the head of poor Mac. One after another they climbed up the stack. Then Yertle the turtle was perched up so high he could see 40 miles from his throne in the sky. Hooray, shouted Yertle, I'm king of the trees. I'm king of the birds and I'm king of the bees. I'm king of the butterflies, king of the air. Ah me, what a throne, what a wonderful chair. I'm Yertle the turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see. Not very nice. And here's what this next one looks like. Then again from below, in the great heavy stack, came a groan from that plain little turtle named Mac. Do you know what a groan is? It's like, oh. It's a sound of pain. It's the way pain sounds. Your Majesty, please, I don't like to complain, but down here below, we are feeling great pain. I know up on top you are seeing great sights, but down at the bottom, we too should have rights. We turtles can't stand it. Our shells will all crack. Besides, we need food. We are starving, groaned Mac. You hush up your mouth, howled the mighty King Yertle. You've no right to talk to the world's highest turtle. I rule from the clouds, over land, over sea. There's nothing, no nothing that's higher than me. I don't know. I think that's not very nice. Oh, goodness. Look at what... So here's where we're going with this. But while he was shouting, he saw with surprise that the moon of the evening was starting to rise up over his head in the darkening skies. It's getting to be nighttime. And the moon's coming out. What's that? Snorted Yertle. Say, what is that thing that dares to be higher than Yertle the king? I shall not allow it. I'll go higher still. I'll build my throne higher. I can and I will. I'll call some more turtles. I'll stack them to heaven. I need about 5,607. Well, the moon is very far away, and it would never be possible to be higher than the moon. There aren't enough turtles on Earth, plus all the ones below would be not able to do it. Here's the next part, and that word is burp. But as Yertle the Turtle King lifted his hand and started to order and give the command, that plain little turtle below in the stack, that plain little turtle whose name was just Mac, decided he'd taken enough, and he had. And that plain little lad got a little bit mad. Excuse me. Do you know what a lad is? A lad is a boy. And a lass is a girl. And that plain little lad got a little bit mad. And that plain little Mac did a plain little thing. He burped, and his burp shook the throne of the king. Oh, this is a good picture. I like this one. I've always liked this one. And Yertle the turtle, the king of the trees, the king of the air and the birds and the bees, the king of a house and a cow and a mule. Well, that was the end of the Turtle King's rule. He wasn't in charge anymore. For Yertle, the king of all Salamasand, fell off his high throne and fell plunk in the pond. And today the great Yertle, that marvelous he, is king of the mud. That is all he can see. And the turtles, of course, all the turtles are free as turtles, and maybe all creatures should be. Do you know what a creature is? A creature is a living thing that breathes, eats, sleeps, but it isn't necessarily a human person. So your dog is a creature, an ant is a creature, a turtle is a creature. All those things that live kind of like people, but maybe aren't people, and including people, are creatures. Okay, the next one is called Gertrude McFuzz, and this has always been one of my favorite stories. And here's what the picture looks like. There was once a girl bird named Gertrude McFuzz, and she had the smallest plain tail ever was. One droopy droop feather, that's all that she had, and oh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. For there was another young bird that she knew, a fancy young bird named Lala-Lee-Loo, and instead of one feather behind, she had two. Poor Gertrude, whenever she happened to spy Miss Lala-Lee-Loo flying by in the sky, she got very jealous. She frowned and she pouted. Then one day she got awfully mad and she shouted, "This just isn't fair. I have one, she has two. I must have a tail just like Lala-Lee-Loo." Do you know what jealous means? It's when somebody else has something you want. It makes you kind of mad. Like, why can't I have that? And everybody feels that way sometimes. So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Dake, whose office was high in a tree by the lake. Here's what the doctor looks like, her uncle. And she cried, "Uncle Doctor, oh please, do you know of some kind of a pill that will make my tail grow?" "Tut tut," said the doctor, "such talk. How absurd." Absurd means silly. Your tail is just right for your kind of a bird. And look at how Gertrude's tail and her uncle's tail are just the same. That's just the way that kind of bird is supposed to look. Then Gertrude had tantrums. She raised such a din. Do you know what din is? Din is a loud, awful noise. She raised such a din that finally her uncle, the doctor, gave in. And he told her just where she could find such a pill, on a pillberry vine on top of the hill. "Oh, thank you," chirped Gertrude McFuzz, and she flew right straight to the hill where the pillberry grew. Okay, and so here's the next part. Yes, there was the vine, and as soon as she saw it, she plucked off a berry. She started to gnaw it. It tasted just awful, almost made her sick. But she wanted that tail, so she swallowed it quick. Then she felt something happen. She felt a small twitch, as if she'd been tapped down behind by a switch. Switch is a stick. And Gertrude looked round, and she cheered it was true, 2 feathers, exactly like Lolly-Loo. Then she got an idea. Now I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than Lolly-Loo. These pills that grow feathers are working just fine, so she nibbled another one off of the vine. And you know, pills are something you're only supposed to take according to the directions, either the directions on the bottle or what your doctor tells you. You're not supposed to just eat them like candy. Oh no, that's very dangerous. She felt a new twitch, and then Gertrude yelled, "Whee! Miss Lala has only just 2. I have 3. When Lolly-Loo sees this beautiful stuff, she'll fall right down flat on her face, sure enough. I'll show her who's pretty. I certainly will. Why, I'll make my tail even prettier still." Look at how she's eating so many of those pills. Oh, that's not good. She snatched at those berries that grew on that vine. She gobbled down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And she didn't stop eating, young Gertrude McFuzz, till she'd eaten 3 dozen. That's all that there was. Oh, that's bad. This isn't gonna go well. Then the feathers popped out. Oh my gosh, look at the feathers. With a zing, with a zang, with a zang, with a zing, they blossomed like flowers that bloom in the spring. All fit for a queen, what a sight to behold. They sparkled like diamonds and gumdrops and gold. Like silk, like spaghetti, like satin, like lace. They burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air and they swished in the breeze, and some were as long as the branches of trees. And still they kept growing. They popped and they popped until long about sundown, when finally they stopped. Battery issue. And now, giggled Gertrude, the next thing to do is to fly straight home and show Lolly-Loo. And when Lala sees these, why, her face will get red and she'll let out a scream and she'll fall right down dead. Then she spread out her wings to take off from the ground, but with all of those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds. She yanked and she pulled and she let out a squawk. But that bird couldn't fly, couldn't run, couldn't walk. And all through that night she was stuck on that hill, and Gertrude McFuzz might be stuck up there still, if her good Uncle Dake hadn't heard the girl yelp. He rushed to her rescue and brought along help. He kind of knew Gertrude, didn't he? He knew that she was going to do something like that. And here's what the next one looks like. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks, and to fly her back home, it took almost 2 weeks. And then it took almost another week more to pull out those feathers. My, Gertrude was sore. I guess they didn't have scissors. And finally, when all of the pulling was done, Gertrude behind her again had just one. That one little feather she had as a starter, but now that's enough because now she is smarter. Thank you for watching my video. I'll see you next time. Bye.